Hello, my name is Jonathan, and I'm going to tell you about how I discovered the ideas of liberty. See, I was homeschooled until the 11th grade, so I've always had this love of learning that has driven me to seek out truth and information and never to be satisfied. My parents never quite conformed to the systems imposed by the government or society, so they gave me an indirect foundation in the ideas of liberty since childhood. But I'd say I really discovered the ideas of liberty in the ninth grade, when in 2008 I attended a class at my homeschool co-op in Utah entitled Key of Liberty. One of my teachers, Mrs. Bean, was so passionate about liberty and the Constitution that her passion rubbed off on me. She always planned engaging activities for the class, such as mock constitutional convention debates. I still remember playing Daniel Carroll from Maryland. He was a physician. In the second half of that class, we studied the Constitution in detail, dissected it, and discussed its meaning and its application in modern times, in light of such egregious violations as the Patriot Act, increasing gun control, etc. Mrs. Bean referred me to the works of constitutional scholar W. Cleon Skousen, and in 2009 or 10, I read his book, The Making of America. It's a volume that goes through the entire Constitution, traces back the structure of our government to ancient Israel and Rome and everything. The ideas are just wonderful. They're the closest to a perfect society that has been devised by mankind. Although I didn't fully understand what was going on in national politics at the time, by 2012 I was paying more attention, and I was tremendously inspired by Dr. Ron Paul and his vision that seemed to align with what the Founding Fathers intended for America. Since then, I've been on an accelerating journey of discovery, and my sense of urgency to fight for liberty, to preserve it for the future, has only grown more pressing with time. As a former homeschooler, school choice is definitely my number one issue. Except for the right to life and the First and Second and Fourth and 10th Amendments, in fact, all the God-given rights enshrined in the Declaration and the Bill of Rights, at the foundation of those rights is a correct understanding which comes from a liberty-minded education, which is why I care so much about school choice. Parents are required to provide for their children's education as they are best able to, but they should not be forced to put their children through these standardized curriculums that indoctrinate them into a certain single viewpoint so that they'll be less likely to think critically and more likely to fall in line with the established system. To make liberty win, we need to abolish the Federal Department of Education. As Lenin said, "Give me 4 years to teach the children, and the seed that I have sown will never be uprooted." Currently, over 90% of K-12 students in the United States attend government-run schools for 13 years, and they are taught some big government propaganda, which is part of why we're in this dangerous situation where liberty is so threatened and people just don't understand. Many people would care about liberty. They do care if only they would understand what we at YAL understand. This is a matter of life and death, and it's a matter of education. We have to get the message out by taking individual actions to educate people. What have I done to advance liberty? Well, I have led protests against the free speech zone on campus. We haven't gotten the policy changed yet, but a lot of people are aware of it now who weren't aware of it before. I've invited students to sign up for more information about YAL, to come to YAL meetings, to come to speaker events. I've helped bring speakers who have liberty-minded perspectives, who will encourage students to think critically and perhaps think in a different way that they haven't thought of before. I've read books to become more informed on the issues and to understand how to explain to people why I believe what I believe. I've been the president of Young Americans for Liberty at UCR for a year and a half. I've also worked as a manager in UCR Dining Services, and it's taught me a lot about dealing with people. And one of the most important things is just building relationships with people, showing them that I care about their well-being even if the government doesn't. I am proud of what I've accomplished in my 4 years at UCR with Young Americans for Liberty, as well as completing my degree in chemical engineering and being part of a YAL chapter that won the Best Coast Chapter of the Year award in 2016. I want to come to YALCON so that I can meet more of the amazing people who have inspired me in the area of liberty, including Dr. Ron Paul and Dr. Lawrence Reed, who I also had the privilege of meeting. My goal is to land a job in the private sector that either involves advancing liberty through technology or leaves me with enough resources to donate to causes I care about and take time off to advance liberty. So I also want to come to YALCON not only to be re-energized and encouraged in how to educate people on the issues of liberty, but also to network with other liberty-minded individuals who overlap with the STEM fields that I'll be working in. Thank you.